you're wondering why I haven't done a video with the new rooftop tent, it's because I reimagined my entire build. So pretty much got everything, and we're out with my daughters testing it out, and we're running out of daylight pretty quick, so we're going to get everything set up.
The code's right there. I accidentally punched it 2 times. It didn't ring it. Right. Okay, monkey. Okay, I just want to look in the bathroom. I just want to look. Oh, it has like a little thing. I am going to play the game I Spy. Could you get my help? You're moving them? You're standing up like this.
So I'm going quick on this because I'm running short on time on daylight. But I just want to show I have the propane here. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I just loosened it a little bit, but it's basically in the corner, and then I've got a ratchet strap that's hooked into here, and then hooked into this tie down system right here, and that I installed on the deck system, and that's how I keep these. I have 2 propane tanks, 2 20-pound tanks on either side. I have 3 tanks, but 2 was plenty for what I'm doing on this trip. Again, this is just more of a test trip to kind of iron out kind of the loose ends. So we're gonna still work on getting this tent set up, and we're almost there. And it's only took me about, you know, from getting to the campsite and kind of going from there, you know, about 30 minutes so far, and I'm almost completely set up. I had some other things, and that includes setting up the toilet, which I'll go over. But I'm gonna get this finished, getting this set up. So it's getting dark, but I want to do a quick overview of camp. I have the FSR, the Free Spirit Recreation, the Ready Light, which is it's got a solar panel back here, and then it's got the light here. It's got multiple modes, and then it's hard to see because this light's on, but these clip on here. And there's 4 of these, and you can turn these on. They have different settings, and really good system. They charge themselves, and they provide all the lighting I need in camp. And I have the Green Elephant utility tent here, and inside the Green Elephant utility tent, I have a toilet here, and if it was just me, I wouldn't use the toilet, but since I've got my 2 daughters with me, I bring the toilet. It's not that difficult to really deal with. It's a pretty good system as long as you know how to operate it properly. And I've got this steak down. I've got the OzTent RV-5 set up, and let's see here, I've got the Deluxe side and the Deluxe front on it, which extends it out and makes it a whole separate room. I also have the fly on it, and what the fly does, especially in cold conditions, it's going to get down to probably 20 tonight. In the summertime, the fly has a reflectant. It'll reflect heat out, and it'll keep condensation on the fly and outside the inside of your tent during the winter time. And so I've got it all staked out. They come with all the lines. They come with these really good stakes that, I mean, they give you overkill. I mean, I've got 25, 30, 40 a lot of stakes, and these real thick, heavy-duty stakes, which you will appreciate when you're at a campsite like I am out in the Pisgah National Forest right now. It's one of these, in Pisgah you can only be at one of the authorized campsites, and they have these gravel sections where you put your tent up at, and so to beat these down in there, having these really thick stakes helped dramatically. I've got one of my 20-pound propane tanks ran into a Mr. Buddy heater inside, and whoa, it is toasty in here. And I've got it going. In fact, it's so warm that you can see the camera lens has just fogged up. And I'm gonna let that kind of unfog on its own. But it is extremely warm in here. In fact, I might turn that down. All right, so coming in the tent, the main tent is right there. This is the annex room. In the main tent, we have 3 cots set up, one for both of my daughters and one for me. Then we have a small little table set up here, and then the fridge. Under the fridge is a box, and inside that box is the Yeti 1400, Gold Zero Yeti 1400 battery that's running the fridge. And this is the Dometic 65 US. And I've got hamburgers in here, and everything is still pretty cool in here. We've got a freezer section which nothing's in there, and it tells you it's 7 degrees Fahrenheit inside there, and it's running. Have the Mr. Buddy heater, and I had to turn it down because on the double setting, or the high setting, it was extremely hot in here, so now it's just on the single setting. And then I'm probably going to fog up when I come back out here. My lens keeps fogging up. See the temperature changes inside and outside the tent. I have the Coleman stove right here. I have it ran to an adapter on a second 20-pound propane tank. And then there's the propane tank for the Mr. Buddy heater. And then over here on the truck, and I'll go over this in the morning probably so you can see it better, but I have the deck system and I have the Softopper, and it's easy to use the Softopper because I control the sides up and I get access to everything that I need. So I'm going to get dinner set up, make some hamburgers, and then I try to get a fire going, but all the wood around here is wet. There's a lot of wood that's down, but it's all wet and it's not going to burn. I tried to get it to light several times. I should have brought some wood in, but you can bring wood in only if it's from the area. If the wood is marked certified by the USDA, otherwise they don't want foreign wood brought in here for different reasons. You can be carrying something that could be negative to the ecology of the forest. I want to try to turn these down a little bit. It's going a little too high. I think it's done. I'm using the Stanley cook kit here. And comes with a pot, skillet, and plates, and everything you need. So we got the hamburgers done, and pretty good. Now I'm working on crappie. I have the BioLite kettle stove, or the BioLite kettle from the BioLite stove system. It's a pretty good kettle. I actually like it. I use it for on the BioLite, obviously, and then other applications like this. And then what we're going to do is use this Stanley coffee press, and I've used this before. I can highly recommend this. It works really well. You just put the coffee in there, put the hot water in there, let it steep, and then after it steeps, you just slowly press it, and you got really good coffee. So the coffee I have is the Starbucks Verona, Cafe Verona Dark, and I like dark coffee, just black. And I brought the rinse kit to wash dishes. I mean, I don't need it, but I didn't bring the pump to pump it up because I didn't fill it at the house prior to coming. I was just going to fill it here, and then I have a hand pump. I'm just going to pump it up, but I left the pump at the house, so won't be using that. It's not a big deal. I also have a, it's made by Mr. Buddy as well, and it's their hot water pump. It's got a battery, so it has an electric water pump in it, and then it hooks up the propane, and you can heat up water. And it has a faucet or a shower. So I may hook that up tomorrow, just to get some hot water and do some dishes, just to try it out. I have never tried it out yet. So again, this is all testing all the equipment I've got for my Overland build. So, and I wanted to get out sooner, but the weather's been kind of bad the last couple days. Really, winds was the big problem. We had gusts up to 50 miles an hour, so I really couldn't get out. We get to go. So it's winter, obviously, and so bears aren't a huge concern. So, you know, having dirty dishes and stuff like that, I'm probably gonna wait till the morning. If this was summertime, I would definitely do dishes immediately away from camp, and then any trash that smelled like food would be double bagged and then put probably in the cab of my truck, just to keep the scent down. There are still animals out here, and I'm sure that they frequent the area, but nothing that's going to, you know, like a bear that's going to take down our entire tent if it wanted to really get in there. Although some bears have not been hibernating in this area, they have been due to the availability of food, and they're getting braver and moving into more you know, urbanized areas. I guess there's some bears that are not hibernating. So I haven't heard anything, and I don't think that's going to be an issue out here. But again, that's why I have bear spray and, you know, a firearm with me. Good morning. It's about 8:30. We got up, I don't know, probably about 30 minutes ago, and get some water boiling, make some coffee, some oatmeal, and some granola. Figured I'd show you camp so you can actually see it. The spot we're in here, a lot of down trees. Some of them were cut down, but I think that a lot of these came down maybe when that storm we had. And then here's our campsite, the OzTent RV-5 with the Deluxe side in front, and the fly. And the fly is it's waterproof without the fly. The fly is basically just for to help keep condensation off the inside. This is that FSR radio light, and it works really well. And then the 4 lights that go here are all inside, and that's pretty much all we used for the entire camp. And so far it's been really awesome product. I mean, it's met all of our lighting needs 100%. And then I've got all the stuff pulled out here. This is the kitchen bag, and these bags here, these Mountain Smith cubes, basic cubes, are really awesome little bags, and They actually fit perfectly in the deck system, but you can put 4, maybe 5 of these in the deck system if you lay them down, and they fit perfectly in there. Softopper has worked great since I've had it, and the versatility it gives me is to be able to use my bed. So you fold it down, unclip it and fold it down, and then if I want to get in there, I just unsnap it on these snaps and can get back in there. And the deck system is nice. Just pull it out and you see those like I was saying, that these cubes, Mountain Smith cubes, fit perfect in the deck system. So, and it goes deep back in there. I got my snow chains in the very back, but you could fit probably 4 or 5 of these Mountain Smith cubes. So it's a really good setup, and I like the versatility versus a rooftop tent. And so I've had a couple people ask me why I got rid of the rooftop tent and why I switched. The biggest reason is going to be this right here. The living room and the bedroom. And so it's cold, and last night we could hang out in the living room area, and you got the fridge, the table, and the bedroom area. And so this is why the space you get and the ease of use you get is why I prefer this over a rooftop tent. So for breakfast this morning, we're having granola. It's got whole grain oats, figs, blueberries, almonds with milk, and just took a little bowl of water in there, and then we'll eat, kind of relaxing out for a little bit, and then probably gonna pack up and head home fairly early, just because it's pretty chilly, and this is more of a test. I wanted to come out and see that this was gonna work, especially in cold weather. And tell you that Mr. Buddy heater, it got down to 20 degrees last night, and I had cranked it up on high, and you didn't even need, it was so warm in there, you really didn't even need to be under a sleeping bag. That's sitting steep. Very good. Really good coffee. It's very hot. So overall, I think we're a pretty good, really big success. There wasn't any really, excuse me, there wasn't any really major lessons learned or anything that really went wrong. Tent went up fast, even with the annex gear, because I use these boxes, these tough boxes, and everything had its home. You just pull the tough boxes out, set them down. Here in a minute I'll show the battery. One of the smaller tough boxes on the inside that the fridge is sitting on. Look at my battery in it, and these tough boxes, the one on the top there, the Huskies, they had these little cord openings on the back, and so I had the cords running out for the fridge, and also to charge iPads and all that stuff. And so everything's worked out really well. And the beauty of having everything in a box like this, that one, pack up, open it up, put everything in its place, and you just throw it in the truck and go. But two, the cargo netting system I have is you just put everything in here, and so it's a big cube in the back of my truck. And then on this deck system, I installed this Trax, this core Trax right here, and basically it's got these little pins right here, and you can put it anywhere on the Trax system, and they can hold up to 550 pounds. They have different weights based on the ones you get, and they have some that are made out of different materials. And the cargo net, well, I have a couple different cargo nets, but the one I found that worked the best, after going through several different cargo nets. Oh, I almost spilled my coffee. Is this Gladiator cargo net, and they have multiple sizes. Now I have the this is the SGN 100, which is when you go, it says, do you want to have it under your bed, level with your bed, sticking over your bed a little bit, or way over your bed, and that's the different sizes that you'll pick on these. And this is really good. It's a little pricey, but this Gladiator cargo net definitely is, out of all the cargo nets I've tried. Like I said, I have about 3 other kinds that I've tried, and I like it the best. You actually clip it in, but you can clip it in anywhere on this cargo net. And then you just hook this onto whatever you're hooking onto, and then pull it tight with this right here. And also on the main body, it has this mesh, this netting. On the outer skirts, it's just the webbing. So it's a really good design, and you can move around your tie-out points, your attachment points wherever you want, depending on how your load is fitting. And for me, that was kind of key, because the load was fitting differently depending on the different configurations I have in the back of my truck, and that was something that changes depending on the weather and a couple other factors. I could also, if I wanted to, just simply car camp out of the back of my Softopper here. This is why you come out here. Just kind of enjoy nature. Well, I wanted to stay out here a little longer, but there are some clouds that are looking darker back off in the distance, and there's a small chance of snow and rain. And we have a little bit of precip already. A couple of snowflakes have fallen. So just so that I'm not putting everything up that's going to be soaked, I think I'm going to go ahead and start getting camp tore down and start heading that way. And this is the beauty of these Mountain Smith basic cubes. You have them all laid out here. My daughter has one, I have one, my other daughter has one, and we have one for clothes. Again, they fit in the deck system. So this is dry food, and this here is my stove and utensils. And then 2 more can go back there. But right now I have my snow chains back there, and then some fat wood, and then toilet paper. But that's the beauty of those cubes. But yeah, you can definitely have a comfortable night stay in sub-freezing temperatures. Like I said, we were hot in this tent with that Mr. Buddy heater. In any tent, there's been people that use that Big Buddy heater in rooftop tents. You know, as long as you're smart about it and safe. You know, and the entire night that I was using it, the carbon monoxide detector, it was setting on 0 the entire night, and had this thing on full blast. So it just goes to show you that, you know, I had no emissions. It stayed at 0. I checked it periodically throughout the entire night. So I do think, though, if you do run a heater, propane heater, you should definitely have a carbon monoxide detector. I think that it has a lot of value. just because if there is a problem with the system. And also in addition, I had this small smoke detector, and it says Bite Night Bellman, but it was like $5. It was Amazon choice, and so it's just a little portable smoke detector, and that's all you need. So I had these in here. I had the carbon monoxide detector at the same level as my head, all of our heads where they were laying, because LP is, or propane is, it's heavier, so it sinks. But I thought that having it kind of at the head height would be the ideal height. And now to show you this box I have here, this is the Husky box, and it's on wheels. It's got this little handle here, push it in, and then the cords are running out back here, and inside this actually came with my hot water heater. I didn't use this trip. I'll probably use it next trip. But anyway, that fits perfectly over the top of this Yeti 1400, and you've got inputs here, and you've got output 12 volt, and then you've got output USB and output 120. And so it's been running this fridge for 2 days and charging iPads and iPhones, and I still have 99.9 hours until empty according to this. So it was at 100%. I would say it was probably more about 90% when I started, and we're at 40% now. So you know, it's used a little bit. So I do have the solar panels for it, and so this is sustainable. I have the Boulder briefcase solar panels that are in the back of the truck, in the cab behind the seat, because I have the mega cab, so I have a lot of room behind my back seat. But I mean, for this use here, and also just for emergency use at home, it's a good thing to have. So one of the reasons it's important to bring a microfiber and a big microfiber towel like this is condensation buildup, and so there are droplets and there's water standing back there. And what I'll do is I'll just take this microfiber towel and I'll just wipe down all the water that I can. I'll wipe down the walls. It's not too bad, but on these outer walls here it's pretty bad. On the roof there's not anything. On this back wall up to about right where that starts right there's not really anything. But yeah, you just take this and just wipe them down, and it's going to help against that mildew. So and recovery is extremely important. When you get done with your trip, you have to get home, you have to lay everything out, you have to clean everything, you have to make sure everything's dry, and if you do that and go through and set everything up for the next trip, then it just makes things so much easier. So you're just ready to pack all your stuff and go. And that's why I like using those tough boxes, because everything is in a tough box. It's all organized. There's not getting a whole bunch of stuff together and packing. You just take those tough boxes, put them in the back of the truck, cinch them down with a cargo net, and go, and you're good to go. And so one of the things I like about the OzTent is its versatility. And so this right here is how you can set it up with just the tent. If you get just the tent now, these poles here are the optional poles that came with the side awning, so they wouldn't be here, and you would just pull this out further, but these poles do come with it, and this awning is built into it. So the fly doesn't come with it. You have to get the fly separately, but just with the OzTent you get the tent portion and this awning that's built in, and then the poles, these poles on the furthest part here. So that's in itself is still plenty of room. If you can sleep 5 people if you put them on the ground side by side. That's why it's an RV-5, but really it's a 3-person comfortable tent with cots. Now if you're just using the tent by itself, I'd say 2 people comfortably. If you're using cots, So, but if you're not using cots, then you know you can do 3 people very comfortably. But I mean, this part right here goes up and down in 30 seconds. The awnings take, you know, they're going to put an additional, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes depending. You can get them up in about 5 minutes, but really to get all the Velcro around the poles on each corner and have everything nice and you know, and tidy, I would say about 20 minutes. You can either roll this awning up, and it has a stiffener in here that keeps it stiff. So when you do roll it up, it makes it easier. But what I like to do is I'll keep the inside up like this, and then I'll keep this down. And the reason I do that is because if it's raining and I have to set this up, I want to be able to not get water or rain in the tent itself. What you do is you just step right inside, and on either side you just slide down the bars that hold the tent up, and then it just folds down. Before I do that, with the RV-5, you have to pull in the back because it's extended out a little further from the frame. With the RV-4 and below, you don't have to do that. So let me do that real quick. Okay, now I'm just going to pull the frames in and set it down. I know I said 30 seconds. We're probably still under 30 seconds by the time I get this done, but just a few little things that you got to do extra with the RV-5 because it is a little bit bigger tent. And it's done. It's down. Now all you have to do from this point here, I keep this portion down. You can't have it rolled up. And I still have the fly on as well, and I'm going to leave the fly on. You just take one end, and fold it in, take the other end, you fold it in, you wrap this over, you put it in the bag, and you're done. It's that simple. Now the tent weighs about 50 pounds, which is not too bad. It's definitely manageable. It is 6 foot 6 inches long, and the bed of my truck is only 6 foot 4 inches long. So it's just a hair bit longer to where I can't really put it in the bed of my truck and be able to use the rest of the space efficiently. I'd have to cant it, and that just really messes up my load plan. So I did get some Thule roof rack bars, and again, it's 50 pounds, so it's manageable. It's a little heavy. If you have someone to help you, it's a lot more easier, but you know, it's kind of awkward because it is long, but as long as you are in decent shape, you should be able to kind of handle it. All right. Now I'm at a drop off here, and so I'm at a disadvantage right now, but if you just put one side up and then get the other side, you can just kind of pop it up there like that. And then I have step bars on my truck that I can stand on. And then I just get it even with the cab of my truck here. And then I'll just get tie down straps. The same kind of straps that you use for like a kayak. You just tie it just like you would a kayak. I don't have my deck system fully figured out as far as what I want where. I'm still kind of moving things around and kind of playing with how the setup I want to be kind of good for overlanding and just for, you know, recovery or anything else. I keep my straps and all my tie down stuff right here. I have a medical kit and a hitch and some other things back there, and then this light here. For now, I'm just putting it right here, and then you slide this portion in, and yeah, and that's it. So this deck system is really a really good system. Especially, it's easy to put together. It doesn't weigh too much. It weighs about between 200 and 250 pounds, somewhere in that area. so it doesn't add a whole lot of weight to your bed, whereas a lot of the other systems, the truck vault, stuff like that, they weigh, you know, 300-400 pounds. And this is, I can easily pull this out. You just take off some bolts, and you can pull it out in 2 sections. I put it together myself. I installed it myself. It was very easy and straightforward. The hardest part of the installation was putting on this core Trax system. It was a bit finicky, but just because it had to be the way it was. It wasn't finicky in terms of the product quality or how it goes together. It's just I went through a couple of drill bits, and the pilot holes have you drill are 1/16 of an inch, and so it's very small, and so you're drilling into that tubular steel within the deck system that runs across. And so I went through a few drill bits, and then you have to really be careful to make sure you get all the screws lined up properly and follow the instructions. Don't try to just do it yourself, because you'll wind up messing it up. For water transportation and storage, I'm using these aqui-tainers, and they're pretty good. It's cold, and I've kind of been bouncing them around, and they haven't broke, so I mean that's a good thing. But so the final piece of this trip is going to be, and I've talked about it a couple times, but having a good load plan and loading everything in the truck. So I've got everything packed up in the appropriate boxes. The only loose things that are going to be in the back of my truck are going to be the 3 cots and the Kelty love seat, and they're right up against, in between the 2 propane tanks, right up against the bed of the truck. The only time that would ever become an issue is if I were to roll the truck, but at that point in time I've got bigger concerns. Still, that is why you want to have a good load plan. Even if I do roll the truck, you want to try to have something that's, it won't keep it probably, this whole thing's probably just going to go flying. But if you do get into an accident, you don't want something shifting or flying out of the truck or coming through into the cab. Really, it's the big heavy items that I'm more concerned about. Those aren't really that heavy. And they're all going to be tied down, especially the propane tanks. You definitely want them tied down. You don't want them going toppling over. Not to say that, you know, if I had a side impact that they wouldn't, but it's better to be safe and have a good load plan and have everything tied down and secured properly, regardless if you're going to be on hardball or on unimproved surfaces. But especially if you're going to be on unimproved surfaces where the road is just, you know, rough and potholes everywhere, you want to have everything latched down. It's just going to make your life a lot easier, and you're not going to have to deal with, you know, things moving around and potentially damaging, in my case, the Softopper or whatever you may have in the back of your truck, whether it be a camper shell or if you're inside of an SUV. Well, it's the most heaviest, and I try to watch my weights on these. This is the upper limit of what I would. This probably weighs 65 pounds, maybe, you know, somewhere in that range. You definitely don't want to overdo it. You don't want to hurt yourself. But this one does weigh a little bit more than everything else. And I may redo how I have this thing packed to bring that weight down just a hair. I like everything to be below 50 pounds, if possible. But I'm just going to slide it back here, and then it's going to be within these tracks. Everything's going to be within these tracks, and then everything gets tied down. And then I have a few loose items, the attachments for the tent that will slide into here. But now that's everything that's that's everything that's going to go in here with the cargo net. So next I'll put the cargo net in place, and then after I get the cargo net in place, I will put the accessories for the RV-5 here on the side. So I clipped it in, loosen this up. I'll run down to this core Trax attachment. I'll tighten it up, but not, whoops, it came out of there. I'll tighten it up, but not a whole lot, because I got just snug enough to where it stays in there. And then I'll go and I'll do the opposite side, and then I'll come back, I'll do that side, and then I'll do this side. And so you do want to do the opposite side, so you're pulling it across this way, and it'll be good to go. And so now we got it cinched down tight. It's not going to go anywhere. You just take and put your sides down on your Softopper, and then just put your back in. And it has a little crossbar that just snaps on either side. Then I have the Velcro here, and this is optional, you don't have to, but I think it helps because there's Velcro here. Just take it in the center. and go down with it. And there you go. The only thing hitting my Softopper is right there, that corner, and it's just barely poking at it. And that's just that's about it. Everything else is secured, and we're ready to go. Of course, I said that, and I forgot about the attachments. So they just slide right in there. Just on the side here. Now we're ready to lash her down and ready to go.